MacArthur Stars. It is Mrs. Price and I'm coming to you from my home office. So how are you? How was your week last week? How did it go? I didn't hear back from very many of you, but then I also heard from your teachers that you were having a hard time figuring out how to post projects so that I can see them. So this week I'm going to hopefully make it a little bit easier. So if you will go to the home page of your art course, I am going to do a video on how to turn in your projects. It's a little bit different than last week. So if you turned in a project last week, it's a little bit different, but I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit easier and a little clearer for you guys on how to get your projects to me. Okay. All right. So this week we are focusing on texture. And if you remember, texture is how things feel, and everything has a different texture and a different feel. We are also going to focus on visual texture. So when we're drawing, we can make things look like they have texture, they have a feeling. So if you remember back when you were little and we would do trees and we would do texture lines to make the trees look bumpy, this is the same concept, okay? And so we are going to be doing metal tooling and showing visual texture this week. So the supplies that you need are cardboard. I have been cutting up a box that I have had shipped to the house, so you don't need anything fancy. This is just a box. You'll need tin foil. Most everybody has tin foil in their kitchen. If you don't have tin foil, don't worry. I have 2 different ways that you can do this without tin foil. You need a dull pencil. You don't want a sharp pencil. A sharp pencil is going to cut into the tin foil, or if you're not using tin foil, it's going to cut into your cardboard or the foam. So dull pencil. And then if you want to add color to this project, you'll want Sharpies. If you don't have Sharpies, no worries. I show you the project done without any color and it looks pretty cool also. Okay, so let's get started. Here we go. To create some visual texture by doing some metal tooling. And so the supplies you're going to need are some cardboard, and I didn't have any just pieces of cardboard around, so we're having a lot of things shipped these days, and so I just grabbed one of the boxes that was shipped to me, and I'm just taking one of the top flaps. It is 5 inches tall or deep, and so I'm going to make my square 5 by 5, so I have a square. So I'm going to measure 5 inches over, and I made 2 marks. I'm going to line up my marks and make a line, and then now I'm going to cut it. And I'm just using scissors. You might need your parents to do this, but I think you'll be okay. I'm cutting it pretty easy with just a pair of scissors, so I think you'll be all right. Okay, so now I have my 5 by 5 square, and it's not perfect, and I'm just gonna tidy up the edge a little bit, but I'm not real worried about that. Okay, all right. Now you also need some tin foil, okay? And you want a dull pencil. You don't want a sharp pencil. A sharp pencil is going to poke right through your tin foil, so a dull pencil will work better. Now, if you don't have tin foil, it's totally fine. You can do this right on the cardboard, or you can also do it on a foam tray, like a foam plate, or a foam tray that you get when you get meat from the grocery store. So I'll show you that option. I'll cut that in and put that in for you, okay? You're going to need markers. All right, Sharpies work best for this project, but again, if you don't have Sharpies, that's okay. Use what you have, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take my square and I'm gonna take my tinfoil, and on the tinfoil, there's a not so shiny side, a dull side, and a shiny side, and just preference, I want the shiny side to show. So I'm gonna actually put the shiny side down, and I'm gonna put my piece of cardboard on top of the tinfoil, and then I'm just going to take tape and I'm going to wrap the sides of the cardboard with the tinfoil, and be extra careful. This is a metal, it is tinfoil, and it can cut your fingers, so be careful. I'm going to wrap 2 opposite sides first, tape down. Then I'm going to take my corners, and all I'm going to do is just like I wrap a present, I'm going to push that corner over, push this corner over, and then fold it. And that's going to give me a nice corner on the other side. I won't have anything sticking out weird. Tape down, go to the other side. Fold those corners in, and then fold over. And this side was a little bit short, but it's going to be fine. Okay, and when we turn over, we have our nice square covered in tinfoil. Okay, so let's talk about texture marks. If you've been in my class for any years, we talk about texture marks and texture lines a lot. And so think about the texture lines or marks that you want to make. So small little lines like this create kind of like a furry effect. You could do wavy lines to make it look like water. You can do dots to make it look like bumps. You can do kind of like a in between a V and a U to make it look like scales, and then alternate each line. Can do straight lines, horizontal, and then do small vertical lines to make it look like bricks. Anything you can think of. And all the lines that you did last week on last week's project, you can do on this week's project too, and they're going to create texture. Okay, so whatever you choose is totally fine. We're not necessarily creating a thing, we're just trying to create different areas of texture on our project. Okay, so it's going to be more of an abstract. Now, if you do create a picture of something, that's totally fine too. Okay, all right, I just want you to think about texture and different types of texture. Okay, all right, so this one I've started. And I just took my dull pencil, and all I did was I am drawing on the tinfoil, okay? And when you draw on the tinfoil, it creates a low relief impression, almost embossing of the metal, all right? And you can run your finger across it and you can feel that different texture. Okay, so I've done one texture, and I'm gonna do another one on this side. And I think I'm just gonna do like ovals, circles. And I'm gonna fast forward through this so you don't have to watch me draw the whole thing. I'm gonna turn my light just a little bit so it won't be so much of a glare. Okay, so now if you don't have Sharpies or markers, then this is totally fine. I would love to see this. But if you do have any type of marker, go ahead and add some color to it. And then I'll see that at the end, okay? All right, see you in a few minutes. I'm noticing as I'm coloring that if I'm going right over the marks that I made with that pencil, it is flattening out those marks. So be very, very careful and color around your marks that you made with the pencil. Tinfoil is very, very thin. Ideally, we would do this with thicker sheets of metal, but we're using what we have at home. So just go gently around your texture marks, and I'm going to go over my texture marks that I drew with the pencil, and I'm going to go over them with another color marker so they stand out a little bit better. Okay. My metal tooling. So what's neat about art is that when you're doing art, your ideas kind of evolve and change. And so I think if you're going to do Sharpies, you might not even have to use a pencil if you don't want to. I kind of like to have a mark to trace when I'm using the Sharpies, but if you want to play and experiment, just go for it. Also, if you're wanting to color in areas, you really have to go around your the places that you went in with the pencil. So you cannot just color right over it or you'll lose your design. Okay, so there's mine. I would love to see yours. Enjoy.